Hello everybody, let's start the Indian Evidence Act. Now we have to understand the Indian Evidence Act 1872 in a very easy way. That's why we call it unboxed law classes, alright? The Indian Evidence Act has three parts. These three parts will have 11 chapters, and these 11 chapters in turn, they all have 167 sections. It looks a bit difficult this way. Let's make it easier. Now consider the three parts as three doors. Part 1, relevancy of facts. Part 2, of proof. It's on proof. And part 3 is production and effect of evidence. Now you can start learning the act or the concepts by taking any one of the parts. Some basic concepts are required, and then you can study any of these parts. Part 1, relevancy of facts. Part 2, on proof. And part 3, production and effect of evidence. Part 1 has two chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1 is called preliminary, and chapter 2, relevancy of facts, right? Part 2, that is on proof, has chapters 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chapter 3 is facts which need not be proved. Simple. Chapter 4, oral evidence. Chapter 5, documentary evidence. And chapter 6, exclusion of oral or documentary evidence. Get the connection. Chapter 3 is facts which need not be proved. Chapter 4, oral evidence. If you have to prove, it's oral evidence, chapter 4, or chapter 5, documentary evidence, right? Now comes chapter 6, exclusion of oral or documentary evidence. This gives you a concept of the part 2 on proof. Part 3, which is production and effect of evidence, has the remaining chapters, which are 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Chapter 7, burden of proof. Chapter 8, it's with the word letter E, estoppel. Chapter 9 is witnesses. Chapter 10, examination of witnesses. And chapter 11, that's the last chapter, improper admission or rejection of evidence. Now get hold of the concept. Part 3 has chapters 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. The part 3 is production and effect of evidence. Chapter 7 is burden of proof. Chapter 8, estoppel. Chapter 9, witness. Chapter 10, I forgot. Let me recall. Chapter 9 is witness. Chapter 10 is examination of witness. And chapter 11, improper admission or rejection of evidence. So now you have a fair idea of the three parts, the 11 chapters, which have the 167 sections. To understand the concept of these 167 sections running through the 11 chapters, through the three parts, you need to understand some key words which will be used again and again and again. The key words are: what is a fact? What is fact in issue? What is the meaning of the term relevant? Then where would be this Evidence Act applicable? Where it would not be applicable? These things would give you an idea of what things are. Now this we can do in the next class. But today, to wind up, let's understand that the Indian Evidence Act is applicable, that is called the extent, throughout the country except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Got it? Right, easy. Now to the extent of applicability, that is wherever it applies in India, it would apply to only judicial proceedings, that is proceedings in or before a court of law and courts martial, other than of course courts martial under the Army Act, that Naval Discipline Act, etc., or the Air Force Act. Keep it simple. It does not apply to affidavits, it does not apply to proceedings before an arbitrator. So the extent you know, where it applies you know, and where it does not apply you know. Affidavit, arbitrator would not apply. It applies to judicial proceedings in a court of law or courts martial. That's all. And the extent is entire country except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So take it easy. The next video onwards will deal part by part, chapter by chapter, important sections, but the concepts will not let go. We'll take it very easily. 3 parts, 11 chapters, and 167 sections. We promise to complete in a very short while, step by step. Thank you. Be with me.